I think the biggest thing is this. My goal is to be in this business at least for 20 more years. I truly like what we do. I try to play everything from a long-term standpoint. And so when I look for employees, I look for people that also want to do the same thing. A lot of times we think that body shop technicians or employees seem to want to jump around a lot. Hey, they've worked 5 places in 10 years. And I'm not looking for that. I want people that say, hey, listen, I'm going to come to work. I'm going to work as hard as I can while I'm there. I'm going to focus on fixing cars correctly and doing the best of my ability while I'm there. But when I leave, I'm going to go home and enjoy my family or fishing or golf or whatever it is that I enjoy to do. Yeah. And I want to do that at Louisville Collision for 20 years. Yeah. And when I find those people, it's pretty easy to do that.
Now, you had mentioned before growing your team. Now, another thing that we see an issue of is finding really good people. So the fact that when you said you hired 5 techs, I'm like, most of my shops can't find 1 tech, let alone 5. Now, I know your area is a little bit different because you don't have the same level of competition that maybe somebody in like Los Angeles or like a bigger city might have. But how did that work for you? How did you find those people?
I think the biggest thing is this. My goal is to be in this business at least for 20 more years. I truly like what we do. I try to play everything from a long-term standpoint. And so when I look for employees, I look for people that also want to do the same thing. A lot of times we think that body shop technicians or employees seem to want to jump around a lot. Hey, they've worked 5 places in 10 years. And I'm not looking for that. I want people that say, hey, listen, I'm going to come to work. I'm going to work as hard as I can while I'm there. I'm going to focus on fixing cars correctly and doing the best of my ability while I'm there. But when I leave, I'm going to go home and enjoy my family or fishing or golf or whatever it is that I enjoy to do. Yeah. And I want to do that at Louisville Collision for 20 years. Yeah. And when I find those people, it's pretty easy to do that. So I think kind of our consistency in that, kind of the way that we just kind of go through things methodically and play the long-term game in that, just kind of add some stability to their life too, because as a flat rate technician, which most of the country has, that would be the part that would concern me. Is my check going to be up and down? Am I going to deal with, flux in my paycheck? And so if we're able to stabilize that and keep them in a place where they constantly have work, where they're getting paid for what they're doing, that's going to be beneficial to them. And ultimately, if everybody in my building is earning their best potential, then we should be handling it well up here and we should be fine.
Right. Everybody should be benefiting. Now, do you guys put in place any incentivized like programs, bonus programs, that type of thing for your people?
We do. We do have a body technician bonus programs based on production. And absolutely we do that. It's a great way for guys to reach those numbers. We were very fortunate in 2022 that 39 of our 41 employees had a record financial year. Wow. And I think that's huge because I think when your team is having success as a team, that everybody's excited to be there. When they're having another bad paycheck, oh man, this is the 3rd check in a row that I haven't had, and yet they're seeing people around them have success. It can really be demoralizing. And so I'm honest and sincere when I say, when I see my guys succeed and accomplish the things that they want to, I know that it's going to be beneficial to the shop as well. And so as they win, we also win. Is how I look at it.
Right. Now, we've talked before on our last episode. I feel like we talked quite a bit, or at least a fair amount, about culture. And you're a big culture guy. And I think I mentioned back then, and now it's about that time of the year of you had posted a picture, because Steve's posts a lot of great stuff on social media. You're very active there. It's awesome. I love your pump up posts in the morning when you're driving to work.
Thank you.
So Steve was out shoveling the snow out front of the shop. It's like, nobody's too good. I'm not too good. I'm not too, because I'm the boss. I'm not doing it. He was out shoveling the snow out in front of his shop. And it really, to me, as an outsider, spoke to the culture of the business, that if the owner is willing to go pick up trash, if the owner is willing to shovel snow, if the owner is willing to do, nothing is beneath him. There's something to this. And we talked about culture then. So share with me a little bit about what you base your culture off of there.
It's awesome because I just shared a picture, I think the other day on LinkedIn, and it was right after the Super Bowl. And it's the story about the running back who got the first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. And instead of running in the end zone, he slid down at the 1 yard line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about how this could have been a dream of his for many, many years to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Something he could tell his kids about one day, his grandkids about, an experience he's never guaranteed to ever have again.
Yeah.
And yet by him sliding down and not scoring, it guaranteed that the Eagles would not get the ball back and that Kansas City could win the Super Bowl. So by his sacrifice, by him choosing to put his personal gain aside, the entire team gets a Super Bowl ring because he cared more about the team winning than his success in that moment. And that's huge, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be about people saying, hey, listen, it's important that I help this team be successful, because as the team is all successful and keeps growing, then the individuals can be. But if everybody in that building is just thinking about themselves, if that business crashes, then they don't have a solution to go out there and continue to do what's important to them and to reach their personal levels. But if they're willing to focus on the team and how can I help the people around me be successful, then the team can have success. And then that just brings them stability and long-term, basically the ability to be in that situation for a long time. And like I said, as a guy that wants to do this for 20 more years, that's what's important to me, is how do I give that long-term sustainability, that long-term, just take that pressure off of them where they can come to work, do their job, and then go home and enjoy what's important to them.
And one thing that you do that I notice is you really appreciate your people, and you don't appreciate them by saying, I really appreciate you. You appreciate them by doing a lot of different things. And I believe that feeling appreciated is huge, whether we're talking work, personal life, whatever. People want to feel appreciated. And one thing I've seen you do before is take your people out to a high-end restaurant. I mean, who does this? Very few shops out there are doing something like this. So
we just did it in November. Yeah, we did it in November as kind of a way to say thank you to our employees and had them bring a +1. We wanted them to bring their spouse so that they could celebrate, because yes, they're winning with us here, but it's also their spouse at home that's helping them have the ability to do that. And while that was an amazing experience, I'll tell you something even crazier that happened out of that. So I'm going to my employees saying, hey, I need a head count. We're doing this dinner, the nicest restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky, steakhouse, unbelievable. And I went to one of the guys and said, hey, I have you and your wife down. Is that right? He said, well, she's not going to be able to go because she's having knee surgery a couple of weeks before, and she'll be out. She's so bummed she's going to miss the dinner, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, man, this stinks. This is 6 weeks away. She's having surgery in 3 weeks. So I immediately came up front. I bought a gift card for the steakhouse and gave it to him the next day and said, listen, I want you and your wife to go before the surgery because you're still part of it. I still want you to share in this. Yeah. So he and his wife and 2 kids went to this and had this amazing meal. And the fact that it meant that much to me that his wife was included in this celebration, it was almost a tearful moment, honestly. Yeah, the fact that somebody would actually care that his wife was still, it's not my fault she had to have knee surgery, but I recognized it was still important and I wanted it to still be important to them. So again, I think that's just a way to kind of connect and show. I would definitely take experience over money. If I got a Christmas bonus, I'd probably go pay my higher electric bill. I wouldn't do anything special with it, right? Where if somebody sends a chef to my house to cook dinner for me and my wife, that would mean so much more because it's something I'm not going to spend my own money to do.
Right.
So I think it's definitely about the experiences and what you can do for your people, and let them know that you genuinely care about them as a person. And not every place does that. So if you can be that shop in your market that's doing it, you're going to pull people and people are going to want to be part of what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's a big reason why you were able to get 5 technicians. And then also through the growth and the evolution of your business, keep the people that you have, because especially in the culture that we have right now, somebody's always willing to offer you more money. Like that seems to be the easy play. Well, how much are you making? I'll give you more. We know as people, there's so much more that goes into it. And that's the culture component.